The Galactic Council chamber hummed with tension as representatives from 47 species gathered in the crystalline amphitheater orbiting Nexus Prime. Commander Anna Martinez stood at attention, beside the holographic display, her uniform crisp despite the 18-hour journey from Earth's defense perimeter. The air thrummed with anticipation and barely concealed hostility. The human delegation will now present their protest, announced Chancellor Vexith, his tri-forked tongue flicking with obvious disdain. The reptilian leader of the Scarith Empire had made no secret of his species' desire to claim Sol System's resources. Earth, with its abundant water and rare minerals, represented a prize too valuable to ignore. Anna stepped forward, her boots clicking against the translucent floor. Beside her, Jack Chen, humanity's youngest xenodiplomat, activated the holographic records they'd spent months compiling. He'd argued against this presentation, calling it diplomatic suicide. Anna had overruled him. Sometimes she knew the truth was the only weapon worth wielding. Honorable delegates, Anna began, her voice steady despite the weight of 300 alien eyes upon her. We come not to wage war, but to share a warning. Derisive clicks and chirps erupted from the assembly. The Krillian ambassador, a being of pure energy contained within a magnetic field, pulsed an angry crimson. Humans dare to warn us? Your species has existed in the galactic community for barely 2 decades. We have conquered civilizations older than your entire evolutionary timeline. That's precisely why we're here, Jack interjected, pulling up the first image. A beautiful blue-green world filled the display, continents arranged in unfamiliar patterns. This is Qatar, 4th planet in the Regulus system. Once home to the Qaitani, a species the Scarith Empire absorbed 3 centuries ago. Chancellor Vexith's scales rippled with irritation. Ancient history. The Qaitani were given the choice. Join our empire or face consequences. They chose poorly. They chose resistance, Anna corrected, her tone sharp as broken glass. Population 4 billion. Technological level, early industrial age. No spacefaring capability, no weapons beyond chemical explosives. She paused, letting the data sink in. Within 6 months of Scarith occupation, 3.7 billion were dead. The chamber erupted in multilingual chaos. Anna raised her hand and Jack cycled to the next image, a barren, cratered wasteland where a world had once thrived. The Scarith used orbital bombardment, Anna continued, her voice cutting through the noise like a laser through flesh. They cracked the planet's crust, boiled the oceans, and rendered Qatar uninhabitable for the next 10,000 years. The remaining Qaitani, approximately 300 million, were relocated to labor colonies. Today, fewer than 10,000 remain, their culture, language, and history nearly extinct. A regrettable necessity of expansion, Vexith began, but Anna wasn't finished. The Urani Confederacy, she pressed on, and another world appeared. The Dalthek Kingdoms. The preservation of Lumendar. 19 civilizations in the last 500 years, all absorbed or annihilated by members of this very council. Her gaze swept across the assembly, unflinching. Do you know what humans call this? We have a word from our history. Genocide. The Krillian ambassador flickered with barely contained fury. How dare you compare our righteous expansion to your primitive barbarisms? Humanity has no moral authority here. Your species' history is written in blood. Jack's jaw tightened, but Anna placed a hand on his shoulder. This was the moment she'd prepared for. The reason they'd come. You're absolutely right, she said quietly, and shocked silence fell over the chamber. Humanity's history is drenched in blood. We've committed atrocities that shame us to this day. Genocides, world wars, nuclear weapons used against our own kind. We know these horrors intimately because we've lived them, studied them, and spent generations trying to ensure they never happen again. She walked closer to the assembly, her eyes meeting those of each council member in turn. That's why we recognize what you're doing. That's why we understand the path you're on. We've walked it before and we know exactly where it leads. Anna gestured and Jack displayed humanity's own dark chapters. Images of concentration camps, mushroom clouds, mass graves. The alien delegates shifted uncomfortably. Humans were supposed to be the naive newcomers, the primitive species barely worthy of acknowledgement. This brutal honesty was unexpected. You want to know why Earth refuses to join your empire? Anna's voice hardened like steel. Because we've learned what you haven't yet discovered. There is no glory in subjugation. There is no honor in the erasure of civilizations. There is only the endless echo of screams that future generations will struggle to forget. Chancellor Vexith rose to his full height, his crest flaring, poetic words from a species that controls a single solar system. The Scarith Empire spans 10,000 worlds. You have no concept of the complexities of governing such an expanse. Then let me simplify it for you, Anna replied. Leave Earth alone, or you'll discover firsthand why humanity survived our own worst impulses. The threat hung in the air like smoke after an explosion. Jack pulled up the final display, not of destruction but of Earth's defense grid. Kinetic weapons platforms, quantum-entangled communication networks, AI-guided defense systems, and buried in asteroids throughout the Sol system, weapons humanity had sworn never to use again, but had not forgotten how to build. We didn't come here to threaten you with our military might, Anna said, her voice softening slightly. We came to tell you stories. True stories. Histories written by conquerors and mourned by the conquered. Because every species in this chamber that's been consumed by your empires had families. They had art and music and dreams. They had children who will never exist now. She turned to face Vexith directly. You can take our resources by force. Perhaps you'd even win, though it would cost you far more than you imagine. But you cannot take our humanity. And we will not stand silent while you debate whether to inflict on another species the same horrors we once inflicted on ourselves. The Graxian representative, a crystalline being who'd remained silent throughout, suddenly chimed with a sound like wind through glass. The human speaks with uncomfortable wisdom. Perhaps we should adjourn to consider. Consider what? Snapped the Krillian. The humans are bluffing. They lack the fleet strength to resist even a preliminary incursion. Jack couldn't help himself. We don't need a fleet. We just need to make victory so expensive that you'll question whether it's worth the cost. And trust me, we've become very, very good at asymmetric warfare. Anna smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Our species once had a saying, speak softly and carry a big stick. We've spoken. We've shared our warnings. We've shown you the mirror of your own actions through the lens of our history. She gestured to the holographic displays still showing the dead worlds. Now you must decide. Are these the legacies you want to leave? Are these the stories you want told about you 10,000 years from now? Chancellor Vexith's scales had shifted to a darker hue. Uncertainty Jack recognized from his xenopsychology training. The other delegates murmured among themselves in dozens of languages, their earlier confidence shaken. The Scarith Empire does not fear human judgment, Vexith finally declared, but his voice lacked its earlier conviction. Good, Anna replied, because we're not offering judgment. We're offering a warning, one scarred survivor to potential future atrocity makers. The path you're on ends in horror. We know, we've walked it, and if you choose to walk it anyway. She let the sentence hang, unfinished but understood. The council adjourned without a vote. No formal decisions were made. But as Anna and Jack prepared to depart, they noticed something significant. The Graxian delegation approached them privately, followed by 3 others. Species who'd witnessed the presentation and recognized truth when they heard it. Your words have weight, Commander Martinez, the Graxian representative chimed. Perhaps there are alternatives to the old ways. As their shuttle lifted off from Nexus Prime, Jack finally allowed himself to breathe. Do you think it worked? Do you think they'll actually reconsider? Anna watched the stars streak past the viewport, her expression thoughtful. Some will, some won't, but we planted a seed of doubt. We reminded them that every conquered world contains souls just like theirs, or like ours. That's all we could do, and if they come anyway, Anna's reflection in the viewport hardened. Then they'll learn the final lesson humanity has to teach. Survivors of our own darkness know exactly how to weaponize it. We didn't just live through our horrors, Jack, we studied them. We understand them. And if pushed, we'll show the galaxy why the species that nearly destroyed itself is the one you should fear most. The shuttle jumped to FTL, carrying them home to Earth. A small blue world that had looked into the abyss, flinched and somehow found the strength to step back. Whether the Galactic Council would show the same wisdom remained to be seen. But humanity had delivered its message, wrapped in the chilling certainty that comes only from experience. We know these monsters because we fought them in our mirrors, and we're still here.